We have 5 people in attendance. Jean, do you have our attendance down?
I'm getting it down now.
Getting it? Okay. All right. So as long as we've got 5, we have a quorum, so we will begin now. First of all, we need to approve the January minutes. So I need a motion and a second for that.
I motion to approve the January minutes.
I'll second.
Okay. Do we have anybody opposed? No. So all in favor?
Aye.
Yes. Yes. Good. Okay. All right. And Christy raised her hand. So unanimous approval. Oh, there are people. Hang on. Let's see. What's happening? Oh no, it was just Christy raised her hand. Sorry.
Sorry, I tried out the hand raise.
Yeah.
I see it, and that's okay, but now it's giving me a notification because you raised your hand, and I don't.
That's just a voting hand. It's not like a question, though. Okay.
Yeah, fine. Okay, we approved the minutes. We're fine. We're moving on. So, I want to discuss. Can everybody hear me? Okay. Am I right? Right. Okay. I have 2 amendments that I want to talk about for the bylaws, and then. So this is just for discussion purposes, and I want you guys to be honest with what you think about that. And if we like this, I will go ahead and get some formal language drafted. And if but I want to talk about that. So on the agenda, I'm listed 3 changes. The 3rd change was to formally include the position of treasurer, but that has already been amended. I either didn't scroll down or I had an old copy. That has already been done, so we don't need to do that one. So that's done. So the first thing I wanted to discuss with everybody is changing the standing committees. So for Daniela's benefit, there are 4 standing committees that are defined in the bylaws. I don't have them up right now. They don't really apply to what we are currently doing. It's like history and education, and there's nothing really wrong with them, but they really don't line up with the work that we do now. So I want to replace those 4 standing committees with the following: an exchange activities committee. Oh, Janae's hitting it. Janae's got them. It's the ones currently. It is cultural committee, education committee.
There's one more. There's only 3.
Okay. We don't. I don't feel that we need them, but we can talk this over more. But I think that we can replace them with the following 4 committees, which are exchange activities committee. So that's like the person that's organizing, or a group of people organizing the activities that the Japanese students do while they're here. A student alumni and recruiting committee, host families committee. So that's handling the hosting part of the Japanese student visit, and then the festival committee. Yes, Dustin.
Hey, Cassie, I don't know. I mean, everybody might have the minutes open, but are you able to share your screen too?
I don't know.
Okay, we may not have that feature. I was just suggesting that idea. You should be able to share your screen and we all see our video at the same time. But if everybody has the minutes open, then never mind.
I do have share content. Hang on a minute.
I just thought that might be easier while we listen to you too.
Here we go. I can share this. Oh Lordy, lots of things changed. Can you see that?
It takes a minute for it to come up. Yep.
Okay. No, I have lost my. How do I get out of it?
How do you get out of sharing your screen? Sorry, I made it more complicated.
It's okay. Because I can't see. Oh, never mind. That's fine. All right. So are you still seeing the? Are you seeing me? Or are you still seeing the screen share?
We see both. I see both.
Okay. Everybody else, can you see the? This is the agenda, not the minutes. Is that okay?
Mm-hmm. Perfect.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry, it's the wrong term. Agenda.
No, that's fine. That's fine, Dustin. As long as I have the right thing, this is what you're asking for, right? We wanted to look at the agenda. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So the standing committees that I'm proposing are those 4, because that seems to be the work that we do, and that they it divides up neatly. The other kind of like benefit of this is that they sort of are lined up throughout the year, so that while one committee is like their activity is going on, the other committees their activity is not going on, so they're available to like step in and help. So basically this designates leadership, and the whole committee will be participating obviously in all of this work, but the specific committees are kind of the like point person or the core, like people in charge of the activity. Does that make sense? Okay. So if anybody has any like suggestions about that or feedback about how to fine tune that, or do you have any other ideas, or you just don't want to do it at all, I just open it to discussion. Like, what are people's thoughts about that?
I think that those committees tie in really well, especially following the calendar year. And then I'm not sure if they were already taken down, but I already downloaded the Excel spreadsheets of our past alumni that have participated in the program. We by default, we can't add them to an email list. We can, once we get MailChimp going, we can put in their information and it'll email them for them to accept it. Otherwise, after a certain amount of time, it'll drop them off and we can't email them until they've accepted the invite. So in addition to these committees, once that alumni like list or that master list of the previous participants, whatever you want to call it, could possibly assist with each of these committees if that's something we allowed.
Yes. And that actually is in the, it is in the bylaws that we're allowed to create like a youth committee or youth support. So that isn't something we really have been able to do, but it's there in the rule book that we are certainly like allowed to do it.
I like those ideas, those committees though.
Okay. So that it seemed like to me that they were good, but I'm just, I want to get other feedback in case anybody has any like changes to make to those or.
No, that's great. Those are the things that we do. Those are the things we do. The only other thing the other committee, by the way, was fundraising. And that's like that's the worst named committee of all time. So I really love that there's no fundraising committee,
The festival committee.
Because everybody hates that. Yeah. But anyway. Yeah, those are good because that's the work we do. So it makes sense, and there you go.
Okay, so what I'll do is then I'll get some formal language. I'll get this like written up so that it jives with the rest of the bylaws, and then we will vote to approve these in the May meeting. So we're gonna have a big meeting. The May meeting, we're gonna have a lot of voting. Hopefully, we will have like all of our like legwork all done. It'll all be in a row, and we'll just like bam, 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 knock out those votes. But that will be on. Be something we vote on in May. The next change I wanted to make is, this might be a little bit more controversial. I don't know. See, I want to know what you guys think about this. I wanted to extend the officer terms to 2 years from 1, because we haven't had, I don't think any of us have had a 1-year term ever. Like, we just physically can't do that. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, it never works. So, like, it always has to be longer than 1 year. So I'm proposing a 2-year officer term. And I wanted to change the election date to make a gap between the election and when you actually take office. And then this will provide 3 months of training for the incoming officers. So the outgoing officers train the incoming officers for 3 months. And then I also want to include like a 3-month, not a probationary period, but after the new officers take office, they are like the former officers are still like available to be like a consultant for them. So I know this is a little bit over the top, but especially for like the treasurer, I think there's a little bit of training that wouldn't hurt to have that kind of 6-month overlap where you are, communicating with the former officer so that you make sure you have like all the details down of your job. So those two, those are just like all lumped together into changes to the officer structure. So any thoughts on that?
Okay, so right now we get new officers or we switch over in the June meeting, June 1st.
Yes.
Okay,
So
that's when we got.
so
So
we,
now you would do your election. I was just thinking, if the election was on the anniversary party, or if it was announced, or possibly that would get more people that usually are involved in the sister city. I mean, if we ever okay, this is why I'm thinking that people never, or very few people ever called Roger. I still get people calling me all the time because they're like, I don't know who the new president is.
Right.
And that's because, or the new chair, because we don't do any kind of newsletter anymore or any of that stuff. So,
Which
I,
with
you
Mail,
know,
that's on my list for the website with MailChimp. That
right.
hopefully will change. I mean, it'll take some time. Also, I have found, and maybe the Sister City Committee is different because it's a little bit less complex in some ways. I have found that I'm still president of Heartland Jet A, and it is extremely difficult to find somebody who will just step up. Usually you have to reach out to people. So I think having that newsletter, that mailing list will help.
Yeah.
Maybe Sister City Committee is a little bit different. It's not
No,
quite
we're not
such.
different. That's totally the way it is.
that's the
But
way
what
it
I'm
is.
saying is if
Yeah.
you had more people, that is one of the meetings where we get more than 10 people. And usually everybody in that room has been on the committee, they've hosted before, they've been involved in some way. That's like a traditional thing. So what were you thinking would be the new election date, Cass?
So I think the January is probably good because I don't know. That's one thing I definitely wanted to discuss and kind of get an idea about, because we don't want to be, if the officers take office at the May meeting, that's right before the exchange happens. But if you've had that 3-month training period, you're going to be like maybe okay. So if we move the election to say January, February. Oh, Tracy, here's Tracy. She can join.
Well, yeah. So the January meeting, the anniversary meeting is always at the end of January.
Yes.
So if we had the election then, we usually also have the kids say who they are. Like we usually say, this is our new student delegation. You know, I don't know. So okay. If we have our MailChimp and our new website going on, then we can announce that the election for the new officers is in February and not try to do two things on that anniversary meeting. Usually we just promote the new students, and that's what gets us new people in the room. And then we have all the older folks who like to get together once a year.
That actually lines up better. So if we do the election at the February meeting, then we have 3 months and they take office in May at the annual meeting.
Yeah.
Okay. I like that. That's what I'll write down as my official proposal for the change in the election date.
Yeah.
So that will create 2 changes, because the election process, we had to nominate. It's a 3-month cycle process to get the election done, and we just had to bump it back in accordance so that we have the actual election in February. So that's fine. Okay. Any other thoughts on that? I guess, does anybody have any reason we shouldn't do that?
I cannot think of any reason.
No.
Okay.
No, because it's proven that it's better for officers to have a 2-year term at least, because by the time you get a bearing on what's going on, the 4 year is gone. And it's just, you're back to the square one. So,
Exactly.
So can I just so that I would clarify for myself, so there is the committee, and I guess I thought that the officer is everybody except that it's not like a chair or treasurer but you're saying that that's not the case?
Yeah, we don't have an executive committee. There's never been an executive committee of officers.
Okay.
We've always had fundraiser, cultural, and education. And the education took care of the kids, and the cultural took care of the parties, and the fundraiser took care of the fundraising, which used to be Santa Caligon and blah, blah. And so since our fundraising is, you know the rest. So that's what those were. And we tried to make them fit into this.
Okay.
And so these are better because people are like, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm on the cultural committee. What does that mean?
Okay.
So, well, Daniela, we do have the officers. So like I'm the president. We have a vacancy in the vice president. So there are 5 officer positions, believe it or not. We've only had 4 for a long time active. So Jean's our secretary. We have a treasurer, we have vice president, and then we also have a historian, which that office has been vacant for a long time.
Since the field, yeah.
Yeah, so I'd like to get that filled. That's a great, something that we really need to like work on. Might not be a terrible idea to add our web administrator as an official office, but we can talk about that.
Well, let's wait till we have a website that we need administrating.
Right. Yeah. So that's in the future. Okay. So none of this actually needs to be voted, or we're not voting on this at this time. But what I will do, if these all sound like good ideas, is I will get the language organized so that we can vote on it at the May meeting to make these amendments.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yes. Go ahead, Dustin.
So I'm just a little confused. Officer and committee member are not the same thing, right?
Correct. They're not the same thing.
So a committee member serves as one of those 5 officer positions, can serve as one of those 5 officer positions, and the officer terms don't necessarily mean the committee terms.
Correct.
Okay.
Yes, because the committee terms are like 3 years. I'm so glad that I'm in charge of this and I know nothing.
That was going to be my next question: is how long is the
Right.
committee?
They send me a thing and I sign it when it's time to re-up. I think it's 3 years. Daniela,
Yeah.
you just got yours. Is it 3 years?
It's 3. Yeah.
So yeah, those don't necessarily line up, and I think they were actually deliberately set up to not line up. Like they're set up to be staggering terms, but I don't know exactly why that's the way it is, but it has never been a problem. People come and go kind of as they need to. So yeah. And then also, just to make clear, the subcommittees, the standing committees are separate from these officers. So the officers are like for the whole committee, and then the little subcommittees are just subcommittees. So there's, we're going to have officers who are on the subcommittees and vice versa. They're all going to be kind of overlapping roles there that shouldn't interfere with one another.
Yeah, if you're an officer, you have to be a member of the Sister City Committee. None of us, except for the secretary. Secretary does not need to be an ordained official member. Okay, that's why Jean, who doesn't live in Independence, gets to be our secretary, because the secretary does not have to be a member of the committee. The people that serve on our committees also do not need to be bona fide members, but the officers do. The officers need to be bona fide members. So we all have to live in Independence, not have a criminal record, stuff like that, to be an officer.
Yeah.
And then, and so that's just to clarify, Dustin, like, oh, I'm an officer and I'm on this committee and stuff, but it's really more about getting people to work for us on those committees. Host families are not members of the committee. The kids are not members of the committee. You see what I mean? Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and, if we don't have any other questions or objections, I'm going to hop on to the next thing. I'm going to try to run a tighter meeting this time than I have been. And our next item is we do need to prepare for the election in May. So what I am supposed to do at this meeting is we are supposed to elect a nominating committee, but we can also accept nominations from the floor next month. So what I would like to do is just essentially accept nominations from the floor now, and process I would like to, all right, sorry, disorganized. What we need to have is by the end of the meeting at next month, we either have to have a ballot or a slate of officers. So if we have one candidate for each office, that's our slate. But if we have more than one candidate for different offices, which is fine, and that would be wonderful, we have to have that organized. So at the end of next month meeting, we have to have like officer candidates in place, ready to be voted on in May.
Cassie, may I ask a question?
Yes.
Did you discuss amending the bylaws to formally include the position of treasurer?
I did, I think a minute before you got on, because it's already on there. That was my goof. We do not need to do that. It's already been amended. I was looking at an old copy of the bylaws that didn't have a treasurer.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, that has been added and it's done. So just that needed to be, that was an error on the agenda.
Thank you.
I'm a doofus, but I'm trying. So we can do a couple of things. I can send out a Google form. I thought about this and be like, hey, what office are you willing to serve as? Are you willing to serve as an officer, and which offices? And I can assemble a ballot that way. If anybody would like to volunteer for any specific office, like give a yell now and we'll write you down.
May I,
Yes.
as secretary, I am not a member of the committee because I am not official.
Right.
Am I still on the ballot?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you want to be, unless you want to withdraw.
You're on the ballot because we want to identify you as the person taking the notes.
Right.
It's just that for whatever reason, the guys at the beginning did not make the secretary a person that needed to be a committee member. I don't know why that was, but that's just what they did, 45 years ago. But yes, you should be on. We've always had our secretary on the ballot. Our chair is Cassie. Is the vice chair open?
Yes, vice chair is open.
So vice chair is available. Secretary is Jean, and the treasurer is open as well.
And historian if we have one. If someone
And
wants
historian.
Yeah.
So do we have anybody? Okay.
I will volunteer to continue as secretary.
Okay. Do we have anyone else that wants to run as secretary?
No. Everybody.
Okay.
Raise your hand.
All right.
Okay. So what's our deal with vice chair? We had Hannah. Is Hannah not going to renew?
I don't think was she elected?
Good question. I can't remember that far back. I guess we didn't have our election in 2020. Okay.
No, we didn't. I bumped up, so we didn't have an election.
Oh, that's right.
Because I was the vice. So
Yeah, that's
I'm serving an elected. Yay.
right. Okay.
So no. So we need candidates for vice chair, and we need candidates for vice chair, historian if we want, and treasurer.
Okay. All right.
So vice chair and treasurer mainly.
So, all right. Do you want to discuss this right now? Do you want to discuss this, or do you want to say who would be willing to work on the nominations? I would be willing to be a nomination committee member, and I will reach out to people to see if they'd be interested. I have ideas of who might want to do that. Do you want to do it that way? Or do you want to just say, hey, let's ask this person if they want to do it?
If you are willing, yeah, I thought we would skip the nominating committee just to save work and do it now. But if you're willing to do nominations, that's fine.
Okay. Look, do we not think Hannah's going to come back, or we don't know?
I don't know.
Okay, Hannah has to be asked, but she was interested in being vice chair, as I understood it.
Yes, she was.
Right. So let's put her down as a slate. So she just needs to say yes or no. That's a check. I mean, so Hannah's going to be our vice chair. Our treasurer, it's Christy or it's me. Christy, do you want to be the treasurer?
You can't say no.
I will if you don't want to be. But I thought
You were
you
just
wanted to be.
voluntold.
Yeah. No.
I'm happy to if you don't want to.
I will do anything. I don't mind. I will do anything. I can also be historian. I don't have to be an officer. The treasurer thing is not that difficult. But you know, whenever the kids start putting their money in, but that's not going to happen really until next year.
Yeah.
So we just
No,
have
I
a little.
change your name. I don't want to be historian.
Okay, then that's good. Then let's have Christy be treasurer.
Okay.
And then, yeah, I can be historian. I mean, I think I'm the only person that knows everything that's left alive or
Yeah.
in town. All right, fine.
Okay, then that will be, I'm going to write that down as our slate.
That's our slate.
We'll finalize that at the end of the next meeting, and I will accept nominations on the floor. If anybody really wants
Well,
to
we
serve.
need, let's confirm with
and-
Hannah. Let's
Yeah.
confirm with Hannah.
Okay, so
Are
vice chair is our main question. And we don't have to have a slate. We can have 3 people running unopposed and then a vote for vice chair if we have 2 people that want to do that. Does that make sense?
Yeah, we do. Yeah, I know.
That's fine. I mean, the slate is convenient, but it doesn't, if we have 2 people, we can.
I will, so I'll check in with Hannah. You want me to do that or do you want to? All right.
Go ahead.
Okay,
Yeah, okay.
all right.
And I
Okay.
don't, right, and I don't want to disagree if anybody, so as we have learned, sometimes the vice chair has to take over, so. There's some training to be done there. I'm not opposed to that. It's not a not serious role. Like we can have other candidates for that if we want to. So, all right, I think that's good. I'm good on that. That resolves that.
Good.
So we don't need to vote on that. Festival progress updates. I need to actually we're gonna rearrange this order really quickly. I want Dustin. Do you have a website update, Dustin?
Yeah, can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah.
All right, go
I'm
for
in.
that. We'll do festival last.
I'm in 2 meetings at the same time right now.
Oh no.
Yeah, one for Jet and one for this. So for the website, I finally was able to get the task list put together. I apologize for the delay. It was work cranked up the heat quite a bit, and I've just been struggling managing my tasks after hours. So I have a pretty clear, concise task list of what needs to be done. I'm going to send that out to everybody. The tasks that I need help with, they're not difficult. It's mostly just sending information to me so I can compile it together. And we can go from there. So I'm going to set a deadline. Otherwise, the website is just going to keep dragging on and on and on. I'd like to have the website done by May 1st.
Okay. No objection.
No objection. That's great.
So,
And Justin, don't worry. I don't view it as being delayed. Like you communicated that you were going to be busy during February. This is like you're right on time. You're fine. Fine.
yeah, I feel like to me, I feel delayed, but yeah. So I'd like to have it done by May 1st.
Okay. All right.
Great.
Okay.
That's all I have for right now. Does anybody have any questions for me?
Nope.
Okay. I'm sure more questions will come out after I send out the to-do
Yeah.
list.
Yeah. So that's fine. We'll work on it.
That's all I got.
Okay. So festival updates. Since we had kind of a dud of a meeting last time, I haven't made a ton of progress on it. I did contact. I'm trying to hammer down the legal definition of bingo to figure out if we can have small business bingo or not. That's on me. I'm working with Tina on a online sale of like various items, and I can contact her about that. The other thing to consider, that's going to be a lot of work cataloging stuff and, posting it online. We may also by June be able to safely have an in-person garage sale of our stuff. I guess that's kind of on me.
Well, I don't know if it's on you, but if we had a garage sale, where would you have it?
I would be like checking with churches, I guess, to have something in a like parking lot.
So we wouldn't want to do it, okay, in a parking lot. Okay, we wouldn't want to have it like, okay, okay. Yeah,
That's my, I mean, I don't feel like we could, I don't
I
feel
don't
like
think we can, I don't know if we should drive, I don't know if we can drive traffic to a church, you know, that kind of thing, unless I was just thinking we would partner with somebody else.
okay. Okay, then let's just press on with the online sale. That's fine. And we can also have, there'll have to be a pickup date for that. So if it's a local sale, you know, people will buy their stuff through the website and then they have to come pick it up. So we can also just have, if we have extra stuff that hasn't sold, we can kind of combine those two things. So at the pickup site, they see an extra thing they want to buy, they can do it.
That makes sense. And we could maybe do that at the garden.
Yeah, we could do that. Yeah, I think that's a great idea. Garden, I'm gonna write that down. Good job.
Maybe the garden and down there, like during one of the days that the farmer's market is open.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know.
Yeah. All right. Okay, then other festival stuff that I will, so one thing that I could use help with is, all right, there's three things I think right now that I was going to kind of put teams together for. I would like help organizing a group of, just creating a list of local businesses or locally owned small businesses in Independence, possibly Blue Springs and Raytown, but in our local area, and conduct some kind of a like game to generate traffic to those businesses. So I was thinking like my concept is bingo. So during the 2 weeks of the festival, people go like buy something or go to eat or whatever at these businesses and save the receipt. So they have a record that they did in fact shop locally. And then at the end of the festival, we plug all these businesses into a bingo card and they see if they have a bingo with all the receipts. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Okay. So
is this something we want the Chamber of Commerce to help with?
Possibly. Like I know they would, yes, they could help.
Would that be a partner thing?
Yeah. So the businesses themselves don't really need to do anything. Actually, I would reach out to them and be like, hey, we're trying to drive some traffic here. Maybe do you want to put up a flyer or whatever? But you know, I guess just make sure they're okay with that. I don't know why they wouldn't be. They really don't have to do anything. We're just promoting like local economy stuff. And this is in place of our, you know, in place of inviting people to sell at the event. We're just trying to drive traffic to their businesses. Yeah, so the chamber would have like a great list of resources, I'm sure. I don't know that we necessarily need to really be involved with them. I don't know. So that's one project. The alternative to that, if it's illegal to use the word bingo to describe this, we'll have puzzle pieces. We'll have like some other alternate format for like getting people to like tally up their local shopping for 2 weeks. The other thing I need is, so I'm just going to list these off, and if this sounds like, what?
Thank you.
Okay. Just jump in if this sounds like something you would want to work on or you think you could help with. The other thing we can do, I want to create a menu of like cook at home food. So we have one meal every day that people like very simple home cooked Japanese meals that people can do with like ingredients that they could buy locally. So I want to have like just a list of things for people to do. So if, you know, you've been laid off for a year and you're super broke and you're not going to be shopping, you know, every day for 2 weeks, you can cook your little like rice and egg meal at home. So that's another participation. That's my task number 2. I need to create a selfie spot list, which I can do, but that might be a fun project. So we'll have just find like local areas that are going to be on our like a scavenger hunt for taking selfies or taking pictures of the location. And a bigger thing is to set up a virtual tour, because when we would be having the exchange. I want to have just a little outline of what the kids would be doing if they were in Japan. And that we might be able to work with HIFA on to like get some pictures and things from them. I know they'll pitch in for that, as long as they make that easy. That was not on the agenda anywhere.
No, it's under festival progress updates because you're looking for, and you're looking for people to, you know, like organize each one of those things.
Yes.
Okay.
Or even just be like the person that I talk to, so I know that I'm not like having a really stupid, crazy idea.
Okay.
Like, so,
well, the virtual, go ahead, Tracy.
oh,
Were you going to say something, Tracy?
Actually,
No.
it was Jean, I was going to say
Oh.
something.
oh, okay, go
I
ahead.
was going to ask a question. I missed the cook at home thing.
Oh, okay. I wanted to have, so we're doing, I'm trying to like drive traffic to local businesses is one thing, but then like, I also want to have like an alternative version of that is I want to put together a recipe, a simple recipe for like a simple Japanese meal that people can cook at home every day of the festival. So hopefully using ingredients that you could buy at like Hy-Vee or somewhere. Nothing, you know, not something super complex, just very basic stuff.
And
One
how
meal
long
per day.
is the festival? How many days?
It is 2 weeks. Let me grab my
Yeah.
calendar.
Thank
2
you.
weeks, give or take. We were going to start on June
5th?
June 5th is a Saturday. June 5th through June 19th. So we've got 3 Saturdays. So it's 15 days.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me just would it make sense then to have a single 14-day calendar of events
Yes.
that might be a grid,
Yes.
and inside that grid, or infographic maybe is a better word, you've got business, something to make, homemade food, selfie spot,
Yeah.
virtual tour, because it looks like each one of those things would be something to participate in, because it looks like everything you mentioned is all like a participation thing.
Yes.
Okay. And then people would post that on social media, like pick one of those. Are you interested in that, where there's one graphic that has these options to do every single day? And then people do that, or would you rather, it looks like there's a lot to do instead of one simple thing, one thing to do. I don't know. I mean, it looks like, okay, when I put that in my mind, it looks like a homework calendar, or perhaps like a school menu. Like, we have a lot of things every day. What are you going to do?
Yeah. Yes, that's so. I will also, so I'll have the festival website that we can have that central calendar, and then it can have like, you can go to each page and see what like if you're doing the cook at home, you have all your recipes you can look at. If you're doing, we'll have just a list of any of the businesses you go to. Doesn't have to be on a specific day. You can do those at your leisure. These are our business partners. There's 20 of them. Hit these guys up during this 2 weeks.
Gotcha. So Dustin's idea over here that we reach out to the alumni, I think that's a great idea. I don't know if it needs to be organizing necessarily. I wonder if we would ask them to just participate. Like, okay, you guys, would you guys be the ones that would do the selfies and post?
Yes.
Would you guys be the ones that would cook and post? What do you want to do? Here's the things we want to have done, just to drive interest, because that's what killed us, I think, last year. We tried to do this and nobody really participated.
Right.
So the alumni should participate.
Yes.
We just need to ask them, do you want to cook? Do you want a selfie? Do you want to talk about Sister City when you were over there? You know what I mean?
Yes.
Does that make sense?
Yes, that does.
Okay, so then our job would be to develop the website and to make the homework calendar. That's what I'm calling it.
Yes.
The festival calendar, I guess is what I'm
Festival
calling
calendar. Right. Yeah.
it. And if we have a festival calendar and we get that many alumni, we can assign them, we can give them that to-do list essentially.
Right. Yeah.
And then, you know, just make sure that they do it.
Yes. Okay.
Just support
Yes.
them, like encourage them to do that. I loved your post, blah, blah.
Go ahead,
Is
Daniela.
that-
This is kind of in relationship with what you're saying about the bingo.
Yeah.
Last year before this whole thing started, I was not the one to organize it. I was the one that participated. I worked in Raytown, and somebody made, it was like an app. It was called something like Goose Chase, kind of like a scavenger hunt thing, you know? And it listed like a local small businesses in Raytown, you know? So then you basically, and I think it was free for businesses to like sign up, you know, whomever set that up. And I think that it was their like Chamber of Commerce, you know, for Raytown. And basically like you would go, you know, and buy a donut in a local shop, you know, so that earns you like, I don't know, like 100 points, you know. And at the end, you know, I don't know, the top 3, whomever has the most points, you know, or you take a picture somewhere, you know, and post it, you know, things of that sort. I want to say that the app was called like, I mean, I have since deleted it, you know, but I think it was called like Goose Chase or something like that, you know, and it was really fun because at first we all thought that we kind of got roped into it. Yeah, like, but then it ended up like being something that it was kind of fun, you know, and, you know, people could do it and, you know, not just like committee members, but like anybody. And, you know, so I don't know if that is worth exploring or not, you know, but it was pretty simple, you know, to do. So
Yeah. If you can find that app, I would love to have that. That sounds
okay.
really cool. I like that
Okay,
idea.
I will ask if my work too, like if they
Okay.
remember who.
Okay. And we might be able to kind of fold a couple of these in together. So we can have the selfie spot and the business kind of be part, just make those be part of it can all just be one big scavenger hunt.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I like that.
Wouldn't it be awesome instead, you know, those places where they have the big angel wings? Wouldn't it be awesome if we had like some Japanese backgrounds around town?
Yes.
I'm
That would
not
be
planning
fantastic.
it.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
You're not planning it. That's fine. No, and that's kind of what I'm looking for. I mean, if we get to that, that's easy to add. Does that make sense? Like if we can get that done, we can put it up. And if we don't get it done, then we can just have people take a picture in the garden and buy a Harry Truman statue and you know, things like that. So maybe Daniela, would you like to? I will just be in contact with you about that. Does that sound good? Okay.
Yeah,
And then,
I'll ask tomorrow. I'm sure
Okay.
somebody remembers, you know,
okay. All right.
like what we did and how we did it.
Okay. And then Janae, I will be in contact with you about the like coordinated activities calendar. And I think that kind of that's sort of our assignments.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think we're good on that.
Yeah, I do see a scavenger hunt one called Goose Chase. There's a bunch of them, but Goose Chase is it.
Okay. And that
Yeah,
will
I
also solve
that's how it's called.
and that'll solve the whole bingo issue where I have to like talk to the gaming commission or something to figure out if it's actually bingo. Like the scavenger hunt is better. That solves a lot of problems with one thing. So I like that. All right.
Yeah, it's a free. It looks like it's free. It's a do-it-yourself scavenger hunt platform.
Okay. Nice.
15. Yeah.
Okay. All right, so I think that's actually, that covers everything that I really wanted to do. So Justin's gonna send out his task list and Daniela and I are gonna talk about Goose Chase, and Janae and I are gonna talk about the calendar, and I will get the website, the festival website organized. So do we have any other issues anybody wants to bring up or discuss or?
I'm sorry I joined late. I had a work call to go. I was on.
You're okay, Tina. You're all good. How are you doing with cataloging the?
I can have something emailed to you. Oh, well, okay. How do I put this out there to you? Because when I add all those pictures, it's going to be huge. I'm not going to be able to mail it. So I need a directory.
Okay. But you've taken it. You've taken pictures and you have descriptions.
Yeah, taking pictures. Now putting it all together, that document is going to be huge. So that's why I just need to know where I need to place it at.
Okay. Right at this moment.
Can you email me something?
Yes, I will. I'll figure that out.
I mean, do you want me to use the Google? I thought we had a Google Drive.
We do.
Yeah.
I still haven't been able to get into it. Janae, you have the only access to the Google Drive.
Yeah, I don't know what it is, but yes, we do have a Google Drive. But Tina, what about just doing, okay, the pictures that you took, those are going to be the things that are for sale. So do we need to put them on the Google Drive, or should they go on a flash drive and then or a thumb drive?
I was going to put a document together so that Tracy could help with the descriptions.
Oh, I see.
So then she had a picture, and then she can update it, and then we have one catalog. And then when we decide the platform, we could just move it there, and we already have the descriptions and the picture and the price.
Perfect. Okay.
Otherwise, it's not organized.
All right. Does that sound like a Google Slides situation, picture with caption on a slide, or do you feel like that would be too big and you need to make it like a Google, like a spreadsheet?
I was just going to make it like a spreadsheet and then store it out on the Google Drive, because then it could just be accessible, because I'm not going to be able to mail it to anybody. That's why.
Okay.
It'll be too big to mail.
All right. I'll get the Google Drive sorted out. And okay, so what I'll do is I'll make a spreadsheet and share it with you and make you an editor.
Oh, okay.
Okay, and then you can.
Yeah, and I'll add to it.
Yeah, and you can just add to it. So you want a spreadsheet, not a slideshow.
No.
Gotcha.
I just want a spreadsheet. And then that way I can just ping Tracy and Tracy can access it and make the updates.
Right. So you guys are both editors on it. Okay.
Awesome. Go team, good job. All right.
All right, I'll get that done right away. Okay, cool.
Can I go over, make sure I have everybody in attendance that is in attendance?
Yes.
Cassie.
Yes.
Daniela.
Yeah.
Justin. Janae. Christy. Tracy. And Tina.
Yes.
Miss anyone?
That's everybody.
Thank you.
Yep. Okay, class, I think we can go home early.
Good job.
All right, nice work, everybody. Yep, powered through that. So, what we did not, or one thing we did not do, I did not assign people to their subcommittees. So just be thinking about, and I've kind of informally talked to people about them, and I have my ideas for who would be a good fit for various subcommittees, but keep those in mind. Which subcommittees you think you would be willing to work on or do your best work on, and just have those in mind. Like Dustin, I was assuming you would be recruiting and like alumni and recruiting. but you don't have to be. I mean, just you're kind of already doing that work, so I would put you on that committee. And I know Laura talked about doing some organizing the exchange activities. I think Daniela, you mentioned doing exchange activities.
Yeah, or host families is just
You said host,
have experience in that, so
yeah, okay.
I'm pretty
Host families
too, so.
All right, host families is good. That's also good. So just be thinking about which one of those committees you would like to be on, and then if we get them established in the May meeting, then we'll kind of make committee assignments there. So I think that's all I've got. We need a motion to adjourn, and then we can all get on with our evenings.
Okay, I make a motion that we adjourn the meeting.
I will second it.
Okay, all in favor, hand up, wave your hand. Yay, any opposed? No. All right, wonderful. Thanks so much, everybody. Good night. Did great.
Good night.
Yep.
Bye.
Thank you.
Yep.